All right, so let's get started. So I'm currently at um Emanuela, they can join, they can just join. I'm trying to explain what we're working on today. So I'm currently on Pinterest. So as you can see, we have different designs here. We have the first one, which is a house. This is for like a bank. We have the second one that has this lady over here. We have the third one that has have this man over here. So this is like a full design for like a social media page for a company. So this is like Central Bank. So they have different designs. So that means if someone pays you to run like a full branding for them, like a company, you're going to create this kind of stuff. So that means you're creating multiple designs so that once you send all the designs to them, they can post it on their page one after the other, and then they will have something that looks like this. So for this design, I'm going to just choose one and then work on it. So first of all, we're going to work on this one that has the features and this woman. So we're going to work on this. And then if we have spare time, we'll work on another, we'll pick another card and then work on another card. We could actually do this after doing this one. So this one at the left hand side, the first one at the left hand side that has this woman, and then the one under it immediately. So we have like 2 pages of design. So let's get started and then let's know if we can finish the 2 designs for this session. So Jaji, like I say, I'm going to be carrying you along. So that means you have to pay attention more than others because some of them used to attend the classes every week. So
Okay, sir.
for this, if you notice from this design, we have like it's actually a square shape.
Yes, sir.
It's a square shape. That means the layout is kind of a square. It's not long. It's not like a rectangle. So you have to pay attention to that. That's the first thing you pay attention to. And
Okay,
it's a
sir.
social media, so it's used for you can just mute your mic anytime you have a question. You can just let me know.
Okay, sir.
Then for the social media, it's for social media posts. That means all these cards are like social media posts. So that's what we're going to be using as a layout. So to use the layout, you just simply click on the start button, which is the create button, and then you're going to select the layout you want. So you can go ahead and search for social media. And then once you search for social media, you see this first one over here. Um, you click on that. That's 1080 by 1080 px. That's the size. That's the perfect square. So that's what I'm going to be selecting for this particular design. And then after that, I'm going to create, after designing on the first page, I'm going to create additional page that's having 2 designs up and down. So that's what we're going to be working on. So once you click on the create button, you select the layouts, you search for social media layouts, and then you select it. So you should have something like this. Are you guys following so far? That's for the new people
Yes,
that
sir.
joined. All right. Are you guys ready? Are you guys done with selecting the layouts? So we can continue. Okay. All right, let's get started. So let me just go ahead and do the design and explain the design. So over here we have this frame that has this picture of this woman, the frame, and at the top of the frame we have this box. This is just a normal box without a box color. Just have it has like a border. It has a border. So that's what we're going to be using for this particular session. And then we'll add a frame here. After that, we're going to add some boxes back to back. And then we now add some icons to this. After that, we're going to add um, the company logo at this downside. So let's get started. So the first step for this design, we're going to be changing the color of our layout to this background color, which is this light blue. So that's what we're going to do first. So we're going to click on this, just click on the white space, and then over here you have the color. Then once I select it, I'm going to scroll down, just pick the blue color. Now, if you want to get that particular color for that from that design, this particular color, you just have to download this picture and then you go on Google and search for color finder. You go ahead and display it. So this color finder, once you search for color finder, the first imagecolorpicker.com. What you have to do is you just upload the image downloaded, and it's going to highlight different colors from that image. Now, if you're not seeing the colors, if the color you're looking for is not highlighted, you just click on this pick from screen. You just click on pick from screen, and then you go to the picture and then tap on to select. It's going to show you the color hex code, which is this over here. That's the color code. And then once you go back to your Canva, you can then simply pick the color using the color tool also. So that means if I want to get the perfect color for that, once I get the color hex code from that particular site and I come back to Canva, I'll just click on this plus sign and then I'll scroll a little bit, and then I'm going to insert color code I got from that particular site, that color finder site. I'm going to put the code here, and automatically I get that light blue color. That's if you want to get that particular light blue color. So that's how you find it. But for this class, I'm just going to continue with this particular one I just selected, because it doesn't matter, it's just a practice class. So we are done with setting the color. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to add shape. So we go to our elements tab over here in the menu. If you're using a mobile phone, the menu is at the downside of the phone. So all these things you're seeing here is at the downside of the phone. So you click on the element and then you search for a square. That's a square. And then you select a square, just like this one. So we're going to be using this square to create that section at the top side, which is this particular section. This section over here. This section is just a white border section. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to stretch this out. Once you are done stretching out, to make sure it's perfectly aligned, you just center it. So if you are centering it, you should see this line, this center line. So you should see the center line, and then after that, you can just reduce depending on what you're working on. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to come over here. This is the color of the shape we just added. We click on it, and then we remove the color. Over here, we have no color. If you have any issues with all these tools here, just hover your cursor on top of it, and then they're going to tell you what it is. So if you hover your cursor, the name displays. You understand? So you don't need to be confused whenever I say something. So you go ahead and select no color. So automatically it has no color. And then beside it, you have stroke style. Stroke simply means the border. So you select the stroke, and then we select this. This particular one means no stroke. And then we select this one. So automatically we have the border. Now, to change the color of the border, we just click on it again. And beside that stroke, we have the stroke color. We're going to select white color for the stroke. And then if you notice over here, we have the corners are rounded. It's not sharp. So the corners are rounded. So we're going to round it also. Also on this menu, you see this place, corners. You click on the corners and then you round the corners. So you just adjust this number depending on how much you want it to corner. If you want it to curve much or less. So you can just curve it any way you want. So I'll go ahead and do 30 for the 4 sides. If you want to corner for some certain sides, let's say 2 sides, depending, you can just adjust this also. But if it's 4 sides, just don't touch this one. Just go ahead and adjust the corner rounding itself. So as you can see, we already cornered the sides. Let me expand it a little bit, and then remember to center because it's centered. Remember to center it. Now, there's a trick to designing. If you are designing, make sure no element is touching the edge of the box. All these sides, the sides of the box, make sure nothing is touching it. Make sure there's space. Make sure all the elements are inside, that nothing is touching the side of the box. That is going to make your design look perfect. So we are done with this particular section. What's the next agenda? The next agenda is the write-up. So I don't care about the write-up because this is like Spanish. So let's forget about the write-up for now. We'll find something later and place there. Now, besides that, we have this framing, this picture here. So for people that are just joining the class, you go to elements, you search for woman. So you just search for woman. We cannot get that particular picture, so we have to use an alternative. So under the search, once you search for the woman, on this menu we have all, we have graphics, we have photos, we have videos, we have mock-ups, and so on and so forth. For this particular picture we are looking for a photo. So we click on photo to sort, that's to filter out the search, and then we decide on the woman to use. So we just scroll down and then we choose a picture to use. As you can see, the picture is more like a landscape picture. It's not portrait. So you can just go ahead and adjust from the side. You just crop it a little bit. And then you now shift it. Now, if you have been attending my class, you know that we don't do this. We don't place pictures like this. It doesn't make sense. So to place pictures, can you guys see my screen? Okay. All right. So once you search for the picture and the elements, and then you select the picture, you just go ahead and crop it a little bit so that it's going to just display the person you want to display. Now, we cannot just carry this picture and just place here. We don't do that. What we have to do is we have to add a frame, and then we place the picture inside the frame. So on this element also, you click on the elements, and then on the menu, you search for frame. Now, the frame is just like the frame you know. It's not the normal framing. It's not like this particular one. It's not like this ones that is for photo college. Search for the frame under all, and then we'll see this type of frames. It's used for placing pictures. You place pictures inside of it so that it's going to give it a perfect shape. So we are going to select this one. And then after that, we place the frame over here, stretch it out a little because that one on the design is stretched out. As you can see, stretched out. So we stretch it out a little bit, leaving a little bit space under it for that company logo that is going to be here. And then after that, you click on this picture, drag it, and drop inside the frame. So it's going to take the shape of the frame automatically. That's how we add pictures to frames. Now, if you feel like the frame is not curved enough, that's the corners are not rounded enough, you can click on it, click on corner rounding again, and then you can curve it furthermore. If you feel like it's not rounded enough, you can curve it furthermore. And then that's it for this particular picture. So we have this box right now. We have the picture inside the frame. And then the next agenda we have on this design is adding these cards. So we have this first one, we have the second one, and then this more. So to add the cards, all we have to do is we add shapes. That's we add square. So we're going to go ahead to the elements and then search for square again. Search for square. And then we select this particular square. Now, once we select the square, now I want you to pay attention to the alignment. Now look at this picture. I didn't just place this picture. I aligned this picture with the edge of this particular shape. So if I'm shifting it, I should see a line that shows that it's aligned with that box. So it should be a straight line with that box. It should be a straight line with that box. That's this place. Now, if I'm aligning this particular box, I'm aligning with this frame also. So there should be a line that shows you that it's on the same line with the frame. That's at the top. Is the same line. So pay attention to the lines on the screen so that you can align properly. Now, once I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and align also this particular box to this side of this placeholder. So I'm going to drag it until I see a line that shows that it's on the same place with the placeholder, just like this. I noticed that this placeholder is too long, so let me just go ahead and reduce a little bit and center it. After that, I align again. And for this one, I align again. So it should look something like this. But pay attention to the alignment. So once we are done with the alignment, the next thing we have to do is changing the color of the box to white. So let's go ahead and do that. So just as you are seeing the color here, you just click on it, change the color to white, and then, like we normally do, we curve the rounded corners. So as you can see, the corners are curved. Now, if you want to make the work to look perfect, all the corner roundings should be the same size. That means if I click on this placeholder and check the rounding, I will see 30 here. If I click on this box and check the rounding, I should do 30 also here. For the picture also, if I'm doing the rounding, I should do 30 also. So that's consistency in design. So if someone looks at the design, everything will be looking perfect. So that's for that card. And then the next thing we are going to add to that card is this stuff over here. Is a circle. This is a circle, and then it has an icon that has a check mark. That's what's inside here. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, we're going to need to adjust this a little bit. Just bring it down a little bit so that we can accommodate the check mark. And then we space this out so that if you are placing the check mark here, it's not going to affect the design. Now, the next thing we are going to do for the check mark, we add circle. So go ahead and search for circle under the elements. Now we're going to select circle. So if you select the circle, once you select the shape, it's going to have color. So you have to adjust the colors. So first of all, I'll do this, and then the color of the circle is white. Let me go back to the design so you see it. So the color of the circle is white, but it's broken. If you are looking carefully, you see that there's a break, just like this one. There's this blue break here that blends with the background. So we're going to do that by adding a border to this circle. So once I add the color of the circle, which is white, I go straight ahead to add the stroke also. And then I select this. So we have a black stroke. I'm going to adjust the weight, make it thick a little bit. After that, I change the color of the stroke over here also to the blue color. That's the background blue color. Now, what is going to happen is once you reduce the size, and then once you place it, automatically you have that breaking. Are you guys following? Are you guys following? If you're following, give a thumbs up. Okay. So the color of the background blends automatically with that breaking. So that's how you get that particular effect. So since we have that effect, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add the check mark to it. So we're going to search for an icon, which is check mark. So on the element also, search for check icon or check mark icon. So we should have something like this. So we'll go ahead and click on see all. Click on see all to choose the one you want. So you have to look for the one you like to use. So let me go ahead and use this because of time. You could spend time searching for the perfect one, depending on what you're working on. Let me just go ahead and select one. So once you select it, you cross-check, and then if you notice the check mark color is blue color, so we're going to do that also. I think this is a little bit big. So now once you are done with that, to add the check mark, you reduce the size of the check mark and then you blend it by changing the color. So once I click on the check mark, I'll select color over here, and then I'm going to select that same blue color. The same blue color. And then I'm going to start reducing the size of the check mark until it gets small. And once, let me zoom in a little bit. And once it gets small, you drag it to the center of this circle. Now, if I drag it to the center of the circle, I'm seeing like a plus line, that's horizontal and vertical line that shows that is at the center before I would leave it. So I have to see that line that shows that is at the center before I leave it. So that's for that section. Now, once again, I'm not going to be adding any write-up to this box for now. Let's just leave it for now. The next thing we are going to be designing is the second card. This second card. So it has a picture of someone holding an ATM card. So let's go ahead and do that also. So for that particular card, I'm just going to duplicate this one. I'll duplicate this one by clicking this. Once I click on this box, I will see these icons over here. This is duplicate. This one that has plus sign. And then I'm going to click on it, and then I'll duplicate and bring it down. Now watch as I'm aligning the boxes. The two boxes are aligned properly. If you want to shift the box and you feel like it's shifting it automatically for you and you don't like the spacing, just go ahead and use your arrow keys or direction keys and then you adjust it. But if you are using a mobile phone, on that menu at the downside, shift to the edge, you see something like nudge. You see nudge for people that are using Android phone. You see nudge and you see directions on the nudge. So you use the directions on the nudge to shift it. Now, once I'm done with this, I'm going to use this particular shape I'm adding here to have an idea of how the section is going to look, because we're going to use frame also, which is this for this section. So let's just go ahead and duplicate the frame also. And then I'm going to place it over here just to see how it looks. Adjust properly. Once I get the size of the box, there's no need of using this particular one under. So I'm going to delete it. And then I'm going to adjust this like this. So I'm going to have something like this. That's for the second card. As you can see, for the second card. Now we're going to add picture of the card to that particular card, that particular frame. So let's say David's card. Okay, let's say man holding David's card. Let's see if we can get a picture. Man holding David's card. Okay, so we have to look for that under all. Pay attention to this menu. So we look for that under all. And then once we scroll down, if we feel like we can get that under picture, we select see all under picture. Now, once we are scrolling down, we are seeing different pictures of people holding cards. And we are going to select the one that we like the most. Let me go for this one. Like I said before, just go and make sure to crop out the extra places, crop out the things you don't like, so that you focus on the particular image you want to portray. So once you are done cropping, we just drag the image to the frame. So we should have something like this. And crop out a little bit more. I don't think that picture is the perfect picture for this design, but let's continue. So once we are done adding that particular picture, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to run these cards, these 4 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll add icons to it. These particular icons are different from this one we added at that check mark. That check mark is outlined icon. It doesn't have, the color is not inside, the color is only in the border. Like in the border is like a skeletal icon. Why these ones are solid icon? There's color inside of it. If you are seeing it, is like blue color. So it's thick. Why this one and this one is outlined icon? It doesn't have color inside of it. So that's different between the 2 icons. So pay attention to that also. Let's go ahead and create the 4 cards. And if you watch properly, you see that these cards, the last cards are aligned also with the frame. If you look at the under, it's aligned properly. So let's go ahead and do that. So once more, we are going to duplicate this box again, place it down here, and then we adjust We need 4 cards, so you have to pay attention to that. So I aligned that also, and then I aligned it to the center of the page. If you watch carefully, it's almost at the center of this box, but I don't want it to be at the center. I want it to be like this. And then I duplicate that. I'm going to need 4 places. I'm going to do it into 4 places. So I want this space at the middle. So we're going to add the next one. We add the next one, and then make sure it's aligned with the frame. Make sure it's aligned with the frame. Make sure it doesn't pass the frame like this. Make sure it's aligned. And then for the last card, the same process for the last card. So we should have something like this at the end of making the cards. The difference between our card and that particular card in this box, in this design, is that this particular card is our own box. Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me? All right. Sorry, my network just. Okay, so let's continue. So we have to adjust this card. Our own card looks rectangular, so it has to be like a square. So to do that, instead of you to adjust by the side like this, you adjust by the edge. Is different. Adjusting by the edge is different from adjusting by the side. So you can adjust the size. Make sure it's like a square. And then once you feel like it's a perfect square, you can then start, what's it called? You can then start placing it just like this. But if you feel like to adjust the card is going to be difficult for you because we know we duplicated this particular one, just go ahead to search for a square again. So you know that for sure you're adding a perfect square, just like this one. So you wouldn't make mistakes. Are you guys seeing my screen? Can you see my screen? Okay. So to adjust this particular, you just drag by the side like this. So we have a perfect square over here, and then adjust properly, add the rounded corners. We're using 30 for that, so let's do 30. And then after that, you change the color to white, and then you go ahead to duplicate and start placing. All right, so it should look something like this. Now, if you watch carefully, the 4 cards have already passed this this place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group it together. I can decide to group it together and then resize it together, or I can decide to adjust the size also, make it a little bit smaller. But the problem we have with this particular layout is that we want it to be aligned with this place. So that's just it. So let's go ahead and try something else. Let's do this, and then let's go ahead and duplicate this. So we should have something that is aligned right now. All right, so you should have something like this at the end of doing that alignment. And then the next thing you can do to that particular section is adding the icons to it. This particular one is, I think, a debit card also. This particular one is dollar or money. This one is checkbox or checkbook. Why this one is increase in trade. That's positive trade. So let's go ahead and search for those icons. Okay, let me do it. I don't like the spaces between these boxes, so we don't have any choice than to adjust. Spaces are like too much. Okay, so now we can go straight ahead to search for. Let's start with the first one. The first icon we're searching for is wallet icon. So we search for wallet icon. So can you guys see the different icons? We search for icons under graphics, not photos. So you guys should be careful about that also. Search for icons under graphics, not photos. So you have to look for an icon that represents what you are looking for perfectly. So I'm going to look for something similar. I can go for this. Remember, we are using solid icon. Are you guys following? Okay, so this is a solid icon. As you can see, it has color. The difference between that and this one, this particular one is outline icon, while this one is solid icon. So that's the difference. Hope you guys understand. Now I'm going to size icon and set it. Can you guys hear me? All right, sorry about that once more. My network again. Okay, let's continue. So once we add the icon at the center of the box, just like this, we are going to use that particular icon we added here to size up the next icons we're adding. But first of all, let's go ahead and change the color. So once I click on the icon, I'll click on color and I'm going to select that blue color once more. So we should have something like this. And then the next thing we are going to do is look for another icon. The next icon we are looking for is what? Dollar icon. So we have that already. I think this is the same with that one. So we go straight ahead to size up. Now for this particular icon, we're going to resize it. We're going to resize it with the one we added before. So to do that, let me zoom in so that you can see what I'm doing. To resize icons, you drag this one you just added. Now you place it at the top of the one that was already there. You should see a line. You see a line. You're going to see a line if you're placing it. People that usually attend our classes know what I'm talking about. So you're seeing this line. So once you place it and you see this particular line on top of the other wallets, you leave it. And then from the downside, you now drag it until you see a line under the wallets. So that means these two icons are of the same size now. So you use the previous icon to size up the next icon. After that, we are going to add blue color to it also. Now we're going to place it at the center of the box, just like the other one. And then let's do for the next two icons. So we do checkbook. Checkbook. I think it's checkbook. It's checkbook, but it's not giving me the same results, but it's still checkbook. So let's look for something that we can manage. So we're looking for a solid icon that we can manage. So we do, let me check this one out. So this particular icon has 3 colors. So let's go ahead and change the colors to blue. The first one blue, the second one blue, the background white. All right, so that I think that works. So after that, the same process, we size it up. We size it up with the previous icons added. Size it up. Then place it at the center of. I think we have a problem with this icon because this particular one has like a background. So the background should be blue also before it can be the same size, which is not going to work out. So let's go ahead and look for something else. We're going to check for an icon that is mainly icon that doesn't have checkbook. I think we're going to search for something else because checkbook I don't think is doing the job. So let's do for what do you guys think this is called? This particular icon. What do you guys think is called? Is it listing?
Checklist.
Checklists. Yeah, thank you very much. It's checklists, it's not checkbook. Checklists. But the stuff we searched before was meant to bring it out also, but it didn't bring it out because I didn't search for the right word. So it's checklist. So we'll have to look for something that is better to use. So go ahead and do okay, let's just manage this. But this particular icon doesn't have a color. If you are seeing this, it doesn't have a color, so we can't use it, cannot color it. So look for something that can color. This is perfect. So we're going to use this particular checklist, change the color to blue, and then we push it down and resize the previous icons. So make sure you resize your icons before placing it so that it's going to be of the same size. Now it's at the center of this place. Now the next thing we are going to be searching for is these charts. This is like a positive chart. So that's the next thing you're looking for. Let's say charts. Let's try charts. All right, as you can see, we have the charts, but I don't think it's going to, I don't think it looks okay. Let's try and see what we're going to find in the charts. So let's go ahead and search for something else. Okay, so we have different charts here. I'm looking for something that looks similar to that also. I think we can manage something else. I think we should go ahead and select something else so that we can continue with, because it takes time to get that particular icon because different apps have different icons. So sometimes you can decide to browse about a particular icon, download the icon from outside Canva and then import it. So it depends on what you're working on. So let me go ahead and look for something to select and then we'll continue with the design. These particular ones are outlined icon, more solid icons. So we'll look for something that has color inside of it. Okay, can someone give me a suggestion of what they think this is called? Because I don't think icon is cutting out for that stuff. That particular chat icon, I don't think it's called chat icon. Can someone suggest what it's called? What is it called? Any suggestion? Jen, can you help us? Can someone help us?
Maybe rising chart. I don't know.
Rising chart. Oh, well.
Rising what?
Rising chart.
Rising charts. Let's try rising charts. You know, the problem I'm having is I want to find something that is inside a box just like this one. But like I said, it's going to be difficult to find unless you take your time and look for it properly. So let's just go ahead and select a chart and then we'll continue. So let me go ahead and select this. But if you're working on your design, you have to take your time and search for it. So I'm going to change the color of this one also. And then I'll resize it just like I did with the others. Resize properly and then place at the center. So that's how you do that particular section. So the only thing missing in this design right now is the write-ups over here and the company icon. So let's go ahead and add a company logo just to make it look better. So let's do bank logo. Can get something that looks like a bank logo to use. So we'll do bank logo and then we'll search for bank logo. Let's wait for it to load up so that we can look for. I don't know if they have. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing a particular. Okay, let's just go ahead and add this particular one. This one has blue, has purple color. So let's do blue color. Or let's do white, and then for the inside, let's do blue. So that we are going to use this one as the company logo. We're going to assume that's the company logo. And then once I place it, I'm going to add the company name by adding tests. I'll just go to the tests over here, and then I click on, I add subheading. And then the name of the company is Central Bank. I think I added sticky notes. So Central Bank. So we're going to place Central Bank to this downside, and then you can choose to resize depending on what you can just decide to change the fonts over here, or change the type of font, the font size, and stuff like that. You can decide to do that. Now watch carefully what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the color of this to white. The Central Bank, change it to white. And then after setting this properly, I'm going to group it together with this logo. Click on the logo, hold your control or hold your shift. Click on the right up and then you group. Now once you group the two items, you can move it together. The reason I'm grouping it, I want to place it at the center of this page. So that's why I'm grouping it. So after grouping, you go ahead to place at the center of the page. And then you have something that looks like this. So the next thing we're going to do is adding right up. Let me just search for something on Google and then I'll just paste it. I'll just paste the right up over there. So let me do the first right up. I'm going to place the right up here. So let's go ahead and add a text. Add a little body text. Place it over here. And then I'm going to paste what I copied from Google. I think it looks longer. So let's just assume this is the company write-up. I'm going to reduce the size a little bit, and then I'm going to center to the box. So you should pay attention to the lines, make sure everything is centered perfectly. And so the next write-up is for this section, this particular place. So let's go ahead and do that also. I'm going to copy another type of text. And then I'm going to click on this one I just added, duplicate it, because I want to maintain the same size. and then I'll paste it here. Now, because this particular write-up is going to be on a white space, I'm going to change this particular one to black. So we change it to black. Now, once I place this here, I'll just adjust it. And then after that, over here is the alignment. I can decide to align anywhere I want. I'm going to align to the left for this particular card. And since the box is a little bit smaller, I'll just resize a little bit. Now, over here, we have some text that are bolded. That's these ones at the downside. And then the ending of this particular one. So let's do that also. So we're going to highlight the ones we want to bold. So let's say we highlight this particular section. Then we'll click on this B to bold it. Also, for this one, we'll highlight some sections. And then we'll also bold it, just like the original design. So at the end of the design, it should look something like this. So far so good. Do you guys have question? Does anybody have any question? You have question? Jaji, are you still active in the class?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a question?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, this particular design is just a test design. It doesn't actually matter what you do with especially with the pictures. Like I just selected random pictures for this. But this is how it's going to look after you're done designing. It's very, very similar to this. Now, for the next card we're going to be designing, we're going to do that very fast before ending the section, because we already passed 1 hour. So we're going to do this particular one, this particular card. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you how to overlay this and add some write-up. So let's just go straight to that. And to do that, we're just going to add a new page, which is a white page. Just click on Add Page. So over here we have page 1 and page 2. So click on this, change the background color to white. And then the next thing we're going to do is add the write-up, this write-up here. Like I said, I'm going to add random write-ups once more. So I'll do that. This is too much. And then I'll place, once I add the write-up, I'll just adjust this to make it to be 2 lines, and then I'm going to align just like this. So we have modern banks enable transaction. The write-up doesn't matter actually. So the next thing we're going to do is adding the company color once more, the blue color. That's what we're adding. So once we add the blue color, the next thing we're going to be doing is adding this card. We're going to add this card. To add the card, you just add a square, like I said before. Add a square, and then you select the basic square, which is the first one. Maintaining the company color, you place here, and then maybe you give a little bit space, but make sure it's aligned properly. After that, you reduce the card the way you want, and then you round the corners. So we are using 30 for the rounded corners, so we just do that. The next agenda, this particular card is not even 30 because the corners are rounded up to like 50 or 60. It's curved very, very well. So let's just go ahead and do that. Go to the rounded corners and then curve it properly. I think that's 100% curve. 100% curve. So it should look something like this after curving. It should look something like this. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the cards inside of the box. That's these profile pictures. So that's what we're going to be running. To do that profile picture, we'll use frames once more. So we'll do frame, And then this time around, we are going to select circle frame, which is this particular one. So once you search for frame, go to element, search for frame, you see the circle one, you're going to select the circle one. And then from here, we start adding different profile pictures to the different frames. So first of all, place this first one here at the center of the box. And then we'll go to elements, we search for man, just search for man. And then under photos, you just select the picture of the man you want to use. Crop it because you're doing profile picture, just crop the face. That's what you need for the frame. And then you place it inside the frame, just like this. Now duplicate it and shift it a little bit. Once you're done with that, once you duplicate and shift it a little bit, you go straight ahead to add the border to this particular one, so that it's going to break off. Like I said, if you are seeing this one, it breaks off. Hope you are seeing it. If you are seeing it, give me a thumbs up. It breaks off. So it should have like a border to all the pictures. So from this second one, you just add the border to it, and then change the border color to the blue so that it is going to break off. So by breaking off, you should have something like this. Now in the next picture, we're going to do this also for that. And so the picture should break off. So we are going to add another picture of another man. Let's just go ahead and add another man. Crop the face and then drag into the frame. Just make sure it's only the face you're getting so that it can be zoomed in. Okay, something like this. So you just, once you crop it, you place it, and then you have that profile picture. So once you're done with that, go ahead and duplicate also. Now, no need of adding the border again, because since you're duplicating, all the cards are going to have a border. So let's go ahead and add a woman. And then we select the person we want to use. The same process, you crop the face, crop out everything, leaving only the face, and then you drag and drop. Same process again. So we have like 4 profiles here. Let's just leave it at 4 profiles. Let me just add one more person, and then let's continue. So you can just do this and then drag also. So we have 4 profile pictures. Now, if you want to make this thing interesting, you can go ahead and change the stroke color to white. But I can see, guys, some of you are not seeing the breaking properly. So you can just do that just to make it pronounced a little bit. So you can just change the breaking to white so you can see it. Hope it's better now so you guys see it properly. And then let me just go ahead and duplicate this right up. And then I'll change the white color to white. Place over here. So you know, on the normal, it should be a different write-up because it's actually a different write-up. But this is just a practical class. Also, the write-up under it, same process, you just duplicate. Then you add the write-up and change the color. This one is black. And then if you watch carefully, this particular one is aligned to the right-hand side. So we're going to do that. This particular one is aligned to the left-hand side. So we are going to change it to the right-hand side. So it should look like this. And then after that, you just scroll up, click on the company logo, copy it, come down here, click on this background and paste. So you should have this, and then you select the Sintra because the text color is white. You just select the Sintra and then you change it to the blue color. So you should have something like this. So you have the first page of the design, and then you have the second page of the design. So, for example, if you're working for a company and they actually need designs for their social media page, automatically you have two designs here, and then you can add another page, and then you design another stuff. This particular one is simple also. This particular one has just a frame of an ATM machine, a POS machine, and then over here it has this particular one have a POS machine. Over here it has something like a chat box, and then it has some write-ups, just small designs like this. So if someone pays you for branding, and brandings are like expensive, let's say 100, 200,000, depending on, or more than that, depending on your customer. You can just, after doing the branding, maybe you add charges for design, and then you create multiple designs for the person, different types of designs, simple designs like this. And then once you send all the files to the company, they can post it one after the other on their page. So they have a uniform page. Now, on our classes, we don't normally use plain backgrounds like this because it doesn't look nice unless you get that particular color we are using. Well, for this background, if you do something like a gradient color, something like this, it looks better. It looks it looks much more better than when you do plain color. You could also decide to use background images. So if I want to make this a little bit interesting, I can just go here and search for light blue background. So I'll search for light blue background. And then I'm going to get this. These backgrounds are like very light blue. So I'm going to remove the light blue, just leave blue. So I'll get something that is a little bit darker. So under photos, I will see different types of blue, different types of pattern. Now, if you want the design to have texture, you can just go ahead to add something to it. Let's say you add this to it. And then once you place it, be careful not to place it inside the frame, any of the frame. Just place it to cover the page like this. And then over here, you reduce the transparency. You reduce the transparency to like 50%. And then you click on position. And then over here, you send it to the back. It's going to send it to the back of everything. So if you are looking properly, the design now has texture. Are you seeing it? The design now has texture of that particular picture you used. Now, if I remove the texture, you see it looks plain blue. But if I add the texture, it looks a little bit more professional. So depending on what you're working on, you can decide to add a background image, or you can just use the plain color, depending on what the company says you should do. The same thing applies to white background. So let's go ahead and do that also for white background. So let's do white background. Leaving your background plain white like this doesn't look good. So we're going to search for white background, and then we'll look for something that we're going to use. And let's say if I select this particular background, I place it on the page, use it to cover the whole page, reduce transparency to like 50%. And then I use position to send it to the back. Same thing applies to white background. So it looks better if it has texture than when it's plain color, that's plain background. So it depending on the person you're working for, you can decide to add textured backgrounds to the design. Hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. All right, so that's for this particular class session. This is what we did for today. The next class next week, I think we're going to do something more advanced. So maybe we are going to do, let's say, website design or something. Maybe 1 or 2 pages of your websites, like website design. But for this particular session, I want you guys to unmute your mic one after the other. I'm going to be calling the names, and then you tell me the particular page you like and the reason why you like it. It's either page 1 or page 2. You're going to give that's the way we normally do it. So let me start from Jaji. So Jaji, go ahead and unmute your mic and then tell us what you think about the best one you like. Is either you like the page 1 or page 2. So go ahead. Are you active? Okay, Jane, over to you. Which page do you like and why do you like it?
I
I
like
can't hear. Okay,
I
continue.
like page 2.
Page 2. Okay, why do you like page 2?
The background is more seeable with the textures. And the lines come with the background as well. The color.
All right. Richard, are you available?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think? Page 1 or page 2?
Page 1.
Why do you like page 1?
Because of page 1 has all the icons you can press.
Okay, so because of the arrangement of the icons. And
Yes.
okay, thank you very much. Favor arrange page 1 or page 2 if you're active.
Page 1.
Okay, so why page 1?
Yeah, page 1 is more detailed. We could be able to identify the icons and the pictures and the write-ups. So every box, every icon there has a significance and it's very, very visible. It's understandable. With the background color and everything makes it looks more good.
All right, thank you very much, Arenza. Emanuela, over to you.
I like page 2 because I like how simple it is and everything that it's trying to say is just really clear.
All right, thank you, Emanuela. So page 2 is simple. Page 1 is simple is also classy though. So I understand what Emanuela is saying. I can't see. Hold on a little bit. Let me view the full list. David, over to you.
Page 1 for me.
Okay, what's the reason?
Page 1 had a lot of works to do, but at the end of the day, it made perfect sense.
All right. Thank you very much, David. Who else? Princess. Princess, were you active in the class? Don't know if Princess is active. Ikechukwu Okoli. Ikechukwu.
I like the first page, and I like it because of the icons near the bottom are all matching colors with the background.
All right, thank you very much, Ikechukwu. Like I normally tell you guys, if you want to get better in designing, you go to Pinterest. Hope you are seeing my screen. You head over to pinterest.com and then you search for designs. You can search for any type of design, graphic design or anything. And then you're going to have advanced and simple designs. And you can start trying them out one after the other. So at some point it gets better. This particular one, we could work on it, but it's going to take more time to finish. This is motion graphics design. So we normally do that. This is also a branding design, this particular one. So it has like different design for a particular company. So by the time you are done designing 4 or 5 designs for a particular company, you will learn a lot of stuff about design. So that's why I said you should just always focus on researching on designs and trying them out one after the other, just to like this particular design now. Let me zoom it in a little bit. This particular design, if you look carefully, you see that it's not difficult. So this one has write-up, that's the website write-up, and it has top 3. And on top of the top 3, they position this camera and this device on top of it, and then they added some more write-ups. Over here, they added 3 pictures on top of another write-up, thus identical to this one, and then 2 boxes and some more write-ups. And the downside is the same thing, just different colors. If you scroll down a little bit, the same pattern of designs. So the same thing, write-up, another image on top, efficient, and more write-up. So you can see they are just the same designs, different patterns. So by doing so, you can simply design like 10. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 posts for the company. So that means if someone is paying, you can do like 9 posts, depending on the agreements, and then it's okay. Do you have your question?
No, but my battery is low.
All right, so already ending the class. So that's it for today's class, guys. The video is going to be available. I'm going to post the video on the page after processing the video. And by next class, I'm going to look for something more advanced, something that has to do with animation that we're going to do, like an advert kind of design. So that's what we're going to be working on. So I'm going to go to YouTube this night. I'm going to research on adverts, all those quick adverts that I used to display on YouTube. So we're going to work on one of them. So if you have anything you are doing next week, just prepare for that class. If you enjoyed the class, go ahead and give thumbs up, and then let's go ahead and end the class. Thank you very much for attending this section. All right, have a great night, everyone.
It's afternoon. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Tuesday.